Teen actress Shelley Fabares had everything. Johnny Angel, her smash, topped the Beatles. She appeared in 3 Elvis films. Everything crashed. In 1994, she fell through her floor, fracturing all her left ribs. A secret ailment destroyed her liver, doctors found. Transplantation was the only choice. She waited 22 months, unsure of her fate. The next event changed everything. Shelley Fabares was born in Santa Monica on January 19, 1944. Her father was from New Orleans, and her mother had Alzheimer's in 1988. The biggest effect on Shelley wasn't her parents, it was her aunt. Broadway and television performer Shelley Fabares won a Tony and 3 Emmys before Shelley began. Shelley saw show business firsthand through her aunt's success. It didn't feel dreamlike. It seemed feasible. Shelley began modeling at 3. Her mom sensed her potential and photographed her in 1947. Nanette, known as Smokey, Shelley's older sister, tried modeling but quit. However, Shelley had something special, looked young for her age. So she could play younger roles as other kids aged out of the business. It gave her more time to shine. Shelley debuted on TV at 10. It was 1954. Letter to Loretta featured her. That one episode started it all. In the following years, she appeared in Captain Midnight, Annie Oakley, Fury, and Colgate Theater. Major opportunity followed. Shelley performed with Sinatra and Newman in Producers Showcase. That was unheard of for a kid. She performed Wuthering Heights live, proving she could handle heavy material. She played a key role in Disney's Annette in 15 episodes by 1958. Shelley became more than a child performer. She was becoming famous. Film roles followed. She appeared in 1955's Girl Rush. Though unrecognized, it got her on a movie set. Next year, she played Susie Parker in Never Say Goodbye. Only 12 she was, but her name appeared in credits. In the same year, she appeared in Bad Seed and Rock, Pretty Baby without credit. Teenage Girl was her 1957 role in Gene Eagles. Again, no credit. It persisted. Each part, often unnoticed, taught her something. In 1958, she appeared in Marjorie Morningstar and Summer Love. Things grew, slowly but steadily. Break followed. At 14, Shelley played Mary Stone on The Donna Reed Show in 1958. It altered everything. She rose from little roles to stardom. The sitcom has 191 episodes, and Shelley appeared in most. She became a teen idol overnight. She no longer pretended. Her cultural status was rising. Her showcasting was unusual. Before auditioning, she had performed with Frank Sinatra and been on national television. That was unusual for a 14-year-old, but Shelley was unusual. She started working at 3. Nanette, her aunt, was famous. She was an industry expert. Though young, she was ready. Something was going on behind the scenes. Shelley and Donna Reed bonded. Almost family, not just co-stars. Shelley then called Donna her second mother. Donna helped her grow as an actress and person. Donna asked, "Why don't you call me Donna instead of Miss Reed?" Shelley was stunned. From Catholic school, she was used to formality. It took her a while to adjust, but it demonstrated how close they were. In late 1961, the network had other ideas for Shelley Fabares, who never wanted to sing. Shelley had no choice but to sing on the stage as her role. She was nervous and in a recording session with elite musicians. Alongside backup singers Darlene Love and the Blossoms, she stood. Behind her were guitarist Glenn Campbell, drummer Hal Blaine, and bassist Carol Kaye. Even then, legends. Shelley was stunned. Later she said, "I never could sing." The producers knew. To compensate for her shortcomings, they echoed her vocals, especially in the repeated Johnny Angel phrase. The show played the song in early 1962. No one anticipated much. Shelley didn't, but something wild happened. Johnny Angel topped the Billboard Hot 100 weeks later on April 7th. It charted for 15 weeks. It topped Cashbox and Canada and New Zealand charts. Fabares' cover reached number 41 in the UK, where another singer had covered it. Million-plus copies sold. Somebody who never wanted to sing won a gold disc. Her voice was pleasant, say critics, soft and echo-coated. Due of its sweetness and simplicity, some believed her version beat the pros. It was not bold or confident, but maybe that's why it succeeded. The label released another track quickly. Johnny Loves Me debuted in May 1962. Barry Mann and Cynthia Wilde wrote it about the same girl winning Johnny's heart. It reached number 21 on Billboard and number 7 on Adult Contemporary, though not as high. It reached 24th in Canada. She followed with The Things We Did Last Summer, which peaked at 46. All these tracks were on her second album of the same name. She rarely sang live, as was typical for TV stars becoming vocalists. Most performances were lip-synced. Producers kept her voice consistent. Gentle, echoing, dreamy. Designed for teens, the tunes worked. Fans remembered her music even though it didn't top the charts. The albums followed. Shelley had to release full-length albums for Colpix Records. By 1963, she had 3 albums, starting with Shelley and ending with Teenage Triangle. Behind the scenes, she wanted out. The schedule sucked. Most shows now shoot 22 episodes every season. For 5 years, The Donna Reed Show filmed 39 every year. Starting at 14, Shelley worked non-stop until 19. She even took classes on set to stay in school. The grind was factory-like and limited youthful freedom. Shelley took a risk after 5 seasons. She departed. College attendance was the official reason. But the truth was more complicated. Her unwanted music career was forced upon her. She was tired. Her departure was hard. She returned for 7 more episodes in succeeding seasons, but the damage was done. She was unemployed for 4 years. Hollywood progressed. Shelley waited. She thought the time would come again. Finally, it did. Shelley Fabares debuted in Girl Happy in 1965 after 17 days of marriage. Her new husband was producer Lou Adler, but Elvis Presley greeted her on set. She was frightened at first, but meeting them changed that. Shelley felt like they'd known each other forever. Not romantically, but something clicked. Elvis knew her work. He'd seen her on Donna Reed. He remembered her 1962 #1 single, Johnny Angel. He immediately put her at ease. The chemistry was clear. Even the crew noticed. Critics later said her naive charm complimented Elvis. In Girl Happy, she plays Chicago mobster's daughter, Valerie Frank. Elvis was hired to guard her in Fort Lauderdale over spring break. A light, enjoyable film. It was more than that. It started something real between them. 3 movies and 3 years of friendship, not love. The next year they reunited in Spin Out. Shot February 21st and April 7, 1966. Played Cynthia Foxhue, a pampered, affluent girl whose father ran a racing firm. Elvis's character, Mike McCoy, had 3 lovers this time. Shelley, Diane McBain, Deborah Wally. That didn't cause any awkwardness. In Spin Out, Carl Betts reprised his Donna Reed Show role as Shelley's father. That familiar face eased set strain. Fans loved the film. Elvis and the women had chemistry. All 3 brought something distinct, and none faded next to him. Elvis received $750,000 plus 40% of film proceeds. That type of money indicated his name's strength. The Memphis Mafia later said Shelley was the only co-star who could match Anne Margaret's intensity. Not a little compliment. Elvis favored Anne Margaret. Clam Bake began filming in 1967 when things had changed. Elvis weighed 200 pounds, up from 170. He disliked his career path, worsening scripts and predictable roles. Studio executives told him to lose weight. He started taking diet medications, which haunted him for years. Shelley was a co-star, listener, and confidant on set. Trailers and dressing rooms were where they spent hours talking discreetly. He announced his engagement to Priscilla Beaulieu to her, a secret he hadn't shared with anybody else. I informed her that when he left the room and told the others, they were surprised. Many didn't know, but he trusted Shelley. Change came with Clambake. The movies were driving Elvis crazy. Once compared to James Dean, he played forgettable scripts instead of important roles. By then, Shelley was more than a supporting actress. She noticed the fissures behind the grin and realized the true man. Despite working closely together, their connection was platonic. Not always for Elvis and his co-stars. Elvis's manager, Colonel Tom Parker, promoted false relationships to sell tickets. It helped Anne Margaret become famous in Viva Las Vegas Elvis, and Shelley didn't play that game. She later maintained their friendship was genuine. No need to perform with her. There was no flirting or headline-chasing pressure. Perhaps that's why he trusted her. Years later, Shelley remembered that period with warmth and melancholy. Fame had changed him, she saw. "I hurt for him," she murmured. She knew he made horrible choices, but she understood why. From a 19-year-old teenager in Tupelo, Mississippi, to the world's biggest star practically overnight. She remembered an MGM cafeteria moment. Elvis appeared through the door, and the room ran for him. She said, "What was it like to be that boy and have that happen 100 times more?" He had no chance. The pressure, loneliness, and expectations wore him down. Show business began for Shelley Fabares at 3 years old. Everything stopped abruptly in the late 1960s. "Going to bed on Tuesday after working since I was 3, she added. "For 4 years, I didn't work beyond Wednesday morning. Not merely a dry time. A full-blown professional catastrophe." The joyful image that made her famous no longer fit the times. A deeper experience was desired, more serious. Vietnam, politics, and revolt shaped pop culture. Shelley's kind, innocent screen personality failed. She then admitted she was risk-averse. She feared reinventing herself and doing anything big. "I should have been more assertive," she said. That fear definitely cost her significant possibilities, but she slowly resumed work. Her comeback began with a Mannix guest appearance. Though little, it was a step forward. She continued to appear in The Ghost and Mrs. Muir, Daniel Boone, and Medical Center. Each restored what she almost lost. While struggling, she starred in A Time to Sing alongside Hank Williams Jr. in 1968, which was supposed to promote their careers. It failed. Shelley played Amy Carter, while Hank played Grady Dodd, a young farmer who defied his uncle by becoming a musician. The plot was confusing, and critics ripped it apart. IMDb gave it a weak 5.4/10. One reviewer termed it dumb planning, where every character made illogical choices. Though produced by Sam Katzman, a successful teen film producer, it failed. It disappointed audiences and critics. Shelley took any position she could obtain during this time, jumping from guest place to guest location. Lancer, Bracken's World, and The Interns featured her. After Mannix, she appeared in Longstreet, McCloud, Owen Marshall, Cades County, and Love, American Style. Mary Stone, the Donna Reed teen, was her Hollywood identity regardless of her roles. That image shadowed her. One notable role was on Rockford Files in 1974. She played Jolene Hyland, wife of a $4 million embezzler. Her character hired Jim Rockford to find $750,000. In Rare Stamps her husband bought, a mature plot involving twists, betrayal, and criminal conspiracies. She wasn't simply kind. Sharp, motivated, and layered she was. It demonstrated she could play mature roles, but Hollywood limited her. Shelley's career continued to progress in the early 1980s, but her personal life was changing even more. She didn't declare bankruptcy. Some financial stress was evident. She appeared in Memorial Day, a 1983 TV movie. She met MASH actor Mike Farrell there. They married in 1984 after falling in love. Soon later, they acquired a small Sherman Oaks house. Later, Farrell called it their honeymoon home. They owned it, yet it wasn't fancy. Shelley Faber never expected her life to change at a 1982 CBS convention. Her divorce from Lou Adler was difficult. Mike Farrell, also just separated from Judy, was a familiar face at the occasion. They met in 1970, but it didn't matter. This time, it clicked. A simple coffee became more meaningful when Mike showed her his photographs. Mike proposed 1 year later over a peaceful supper at a Topanga Canyon health food restaurant. Shelley agreed. They married at her aunt's house on August 21, 1984, in a simple ceremony. Actress Nanette Fabre was aunt. The years that followed were hard. Previous marriages produced offspring. Both were recovering from past wounds, but they managed quietly and slowly. Shelley became coach's Christine Armstrong in 1989, changing her career. Win was unexpected. Nearly 200 women auditioned. Many were young. Though ABC execs didn't think she fit, producer Barry Kemp persisted. He thought Shelley was perfect, sharp, humorous, and strong. He was right. Coach initially drew little attention. The time was 60 seconds. Shelley joked that 6 people watched. Later, ABC aired it following Roseanne. Ratings rose. Suddenly, millions tuned in. Shelley and Craig T. Nelson looked beautiful together on screen, but behind the scenes it wasn't always easy. Craig acted erratically. Shelley favored order. Someday, in episode 11, a long conversation in the dressing room followed too many retakes. It lasted 2 hours, cleared the air. After that, their relationship changed. On-screen chemistry became real. In May 1993, their characters married in the show's 100th episode. Success ensued. Received 1993 and 1994 Emmy nominations. Her mature career has only them. For someone who started acting at 3 and starred in the Donna Reed Show, the fame came late but felt perfect. The Young Artist Foundation gave her a Lifetime Achievement Award. Her best work was back. Everything changed in 1994, just as things were good. Shelley slipped through a gap in her home floor during renovations that year. The fall broke all her left ribs. She was 50. Pain was excruciating. Recovery took months. Still, she worked on Coach. At first, everyone assumed it was a terrible accident. Something worse was coming. After the fall, her doctors performed normal exams. High liver enzymes were harmful. No one knew why. Extra exams followed. More perplexity. After years, physicians identified her with autoimmune hepatitis. Her immune system attacked her liver. While medications helped, the harm persisted. She was fatigued constantly. Sometimes she slept 20 hours a day. Mike, her husband, fretted. Shelley appeared tough, but she was crumbling inside. In early 1999, the secret crisis erupted. Shelley had a large esophageal bleed at home without notice. She had throat blood vessel ruptures. She was transported to Cedars-Sinai. She heard the worst from doctors. She had hepatic failure. The medication stopped working. Only a transplant could rescue her. The transplant list included her in April 1999. For 22 months, she waited. Every day was unpredictable. Each pager rang, she hoped. Often, it was a mistake. Each false alarm shattered her. Her strength declined. Still, she waited. The call came after midnight on October 23, 2000. Following 22 difficult months on the transplant list, Shelley Fabares received the news she had waited for. "Your liver is here," phone call from Dr. John Vierling. Shelley and her husband, Mike Farrell, found the situation unreal. They have experienced multiple false alarms, when the transplant pager went off but was the wrong number. Each time was terrible. Shelley stated they believed we could die of stress before the transplant. With the real call, Shelley was in bad shape. Staying awake was difficult. "Wasn't in pain," she stated afterward. But I was exhausted. I'd wake up thirsty, try to fetch water, then decide I'm more tired than thirsty, and go back to sleep. She and Mike realized its gravity at that point. Over 50% of liver transplant patients are denied. Her medical issues began years ago and unexpectedly. Shelley fell through her home's under-construction floor in 1994. She broke all her left ribs. After the accident, doctors detected anything odd during standard tests. Liver statistics were staggering. Why wasn't explained. Medicine kept her stable for years, but her statistics were too high. In early 1999, she had a scary esophageal bleed. She was transported to Cedars-Sinai. The tipping moment. Her doctors told her liver insufficiency caused the bleed, medicine wasn't enough, and another bleed may be fatal. She lived after a transplant. Operation completed in October 2000. It saved her. Despite the surgery's secrecy, her liver failure was caused by an autoimmune condition. Her recuperation was hard. Body recovers slowly from major surgery. Rebuilding strength was necessary. Endure chronic tiredness and carry her past. Mike helped her through it. Shelley considered him her lifeline. She said he attended every doctor's appointment. He stayed with me throughout. Some marriages fail under pressure. Theirs didn't. It grew stronger. We grew closer, Shelley said. How would I have survived without him? Shelley never forgot that the transplant was only possible because another family lost a loved one. She once claimed she always knew she was on borrowed time. It was a terrible wait. 22 months of worry, uncertainty, and optimism. Though she didn't name her donor, she constantly expressed her appreciation. Organ transplantation caused complex feelings. You exist. Someone else isn't. That fact stayed with her. The mental toll was high. Shelley didn't discuss PTSD, but statistics reveal 46% of liver transplant patients face extreme stress after surgery. Up to 45.8% are depressed. Many experience anxiety long after physical scars heal. Shelley said it altered her entirely. Even though things has returned to normal, she said, I'm different. My priorities and outlook have changed. She had moved on by 2003, 3 years after her transplant, but the memories and feelings lingered. She said she was grateful for her life, doctors, and education. Above all, I'm grateful for my hubby. Still, Shelley was honest about the cost, despite her progress and strength. I wouldn't want this on anyone. Shelley Fabares wasn't an activist by birth. She was a prominent TV and cinema actress. Everything changed when her family got Alzheimer's. Her mother, Elsa, was diagnosed in the early 1980s. Shelley didn't realize her mother had silently donated to Alzheimer's research for years. She even told Shelley's sister she'd rather commit suicide if she caught the disease. Unfortunately, physicians diagnosed her too late. She couldn't recall what she said. Alzheimer's plagued Elsa for 9 years. In 1992, she died. The loss devastated Shelley. She converted her pain into purpose since 1988, before her mother died. Already volunteering for the Alzheimer's Association. She remained dedicated. They made her a national spokesperson.